In this video, we will be targeting African mottled eel diamonds. If this video helps you catch your diamond, please remember to give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Here is my latest catch screen using a strong gear method. First fish is a diamond at $22.49. Here's a gold. Lots of golds. You're going to get some sharp-toothed catfish. More golds. Here's another diamond. Back to back. Last fish at 23.52. That's 1 hour, 3 minutes. 16 gold, 3 diamonds. Here's another example using rod holders off the dock to exclude catfish. First fish is a diamond at 0011. Lots of golds. Another diamond. Here's another diamond. You see all eels. Last fish at 340. That's 3 hours, 29 minutes. 17 golds, 3 diamonds. Let's take a quick look at the African mottled eel. For the traits, it's a bottom lurker, so we're probably going to use a bottom fishing rig. And it's a night owl, more active at night. For the bait and lure preferences, I like the very first one, red worm. And then for chum, you can pick out pellets, regular, and hot dog as the only options there on the list. The largest African eel is 16.1 pounds or 7.5 kilograms. And I'm going to show you a couple of different options to catch these for gear. The first is just to use the strongest bottom fishing rig you have. This is the easiest and the quickest, but isn't going to give you much score. You see here, I have Cetro del Rey, which comes from the Spain souvenir stand. You certainly don't need this. This is the strongest bottom fishing rig in the game. Graduation will work just fine, as will the one below it, I think called Exhale. I'm using the level 90 reel, braided line, any sinker will do. And here's the important part, size 2 hook and red worm. If you want to use rod holders to exclude catfish from the secondary location I'm going to show you, this is the gear that I recommend. The blinder feeder, you could use stronger ones, that would be fine, but I do recommend the Cameron reel at 17-pound drag, along with 22-pound fluorocarbon, any sinker, and again, size 2 gold hook with red worm. And you see I have 2 of these set up. We're going to use 2 different rigs in case one is being active with a catfish. We don't want to miss an eel. And for bait feeding, at the primary location, you're only going to need your hand, and I recommend hot dogs. You can also carry pellets if you like. And for the secondary location, I recommend the heavy, long catapult. I'll use what you have if you don't have this one. And once again, hot dogs and pellets are the options. To catch diamonds, it's important to start in a night server. I'm going to show you 2 different locations. Here is the secondary location. This is Fricky Spot. We're going to use rod holders off the dock here. And you can grab a boat from there, go up the river to my favorite spot. You can see my boat here and my diamond marker. And for reference, here is the outpost. So you're going to have to take a path, if you don't have it unlocked, over to Fricky Spot. But you probably will. Then just fast travel to that point of interest. Special thanks to Aero, that's AERO, for his contributions to this video. To get your Diamond African Mottled Eel, I suggest you start in a night server. That time window is midnight, 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. I typically only make it to 5 a.m. when I run out of hot dogs. Then you're going to restart back to that window. It's a pretty tight window because night moves fast in servers. For your gear, if you're going to use the secondary location I show with rod holders, you're going to want 2-feeder bottom rigs with size 2 gold hook and redworm for bait. And if you're going to use the boat at the primary location for your in hand, you just need 1-feeder bottom rig, size 2 gold hook with redworm. And then don't forget bait feeding to attract the fish, or the eels, I should say. I primarily use hot dogs and reset when I run out, but you can also use pellets regular and keep going if you like. Now it's time to fish. This is my favorite spot, and I think the quickest way to get the diamonds. And all I'm going to do is half cast toss some hot dogs and grab my strong gear and quick cast it right by the bait. See, it's about 47 feet here. And we are either going to get silver catfish or gold or diamond eels. And you'll be able to tell by the tension. Now, you can certainly use the lighter gear here if you like, if you're going for score. You're just going to get 501 score using the strong stuff. But it makes it a lot quicker. And those pesky catfish, you can decide what to do. Sometimes I'll cut them off and then ignore the next nibble, knowing it'll be that catfish again. Or you could just pull them in. They work fine for typical challenges or a little XP. Usually the bite here is pretty quick, so I'm surprised we haven't gotten anything yet. But we'll see what happens. Now this window is pretty small. You can go up until 6, but I usually quit when I run out of hot dogs, which is typically right around 5. There's a nibble. And this is definitely a catfish on this gear. I'll go ahead and pull it in and show it to you. A diamond eel on the Cetro with that reel and max line only goes about a quarter of the circle. And if you want to fight them, by all means, use the lighter gear. You see 31 pounds. So it's going to be a few minutes. Just going to toss out more hot dogs. Not a whole lot more to this strategy. Unfortunately, there's no way to exclude the catfish via bait, lure, or chum. So the only option to do that for certainty is, this is going to be a small catfish, is to cut them off here or use the rod holder strategy I'm going to show you next. You probably aren't going to mind pulling in some catfish. No big deal. But if you want to catch just eels, I'm going to show you how to do that. There's another catfish. We'll stay here through that bait, and then I'll take you to the secondary spot. So the interesting thing is at night, time moves very quick. So you see it's already 1 o'clock, started at midnight, and I'm only on my second chum. But pretty quick bite. This one's going to be an eel. Looks like just gold. I'm going to say 9 pounds. You can see the eel. Oh, I was off. Whoops. Small diamond there, 11.9. That's a bit of a surprise. I wasn't expecting that. Pretty sweet. Always love getting diamonds in the technique section. Get a good look at that. They get quite a bit bigger. That's on the small side, and it fooled me on the size. But you can see just that quick. 3 fish, and we got a diamond. So let me show you the other location. Now I'm over at the secondary location, and I'll show you a little more complicated strategy. So I'm going to grab one of the lighter rigs, and I'm down at the end of this dock. I'm going to get up to the edge. If you go too far in the lower left, watch me fall in the water. I guess I can't make it go away. You see, make sure that you've got put rod in holder. And then what I want to do is aim for that deep spot out here. See here, I could actually add an eel marker. I don't know why I don't have one there. There it is. Then we'll track it for an aim. I'll max cast that out there. And I'm going to use the long catapult and not quite max cast, and that should line up pretty well. And then I'm going to put another one out in the same area. Now we have limited chum. I really want to cross. Let me get this over here a little. That was a pretty terrible cast. I do open the bail so they don't snap back. That is one of the bugs with the rod holders. And I use 2. I'm going to show you why. Hopefully we get a bite. And what we're going to do here is... Oh, I did forget something that's very important. Oh, yeah. We want that drag. Watch the lower left. We want that drag at 60%. Let me check this one. That one was at 30. So make sure you set your drag at 60%. And what we're looking for is no pulling of the line at 60%. The catfish are going to pull that and you'll hear it creaking. The eel are not going to move that line at all. So we're looking for a bite and then no sound afterwards. Sometimes it takes a little bit for that chum. Here we go. Now hopefully we get a screamer so I can show you what that is first. Now you hear it clicking. So that's taking the line. We know for 100% that's a catfish. So what we want to do is just use that rod holder to despawn that catfish. So just ignore it. Got 30 seconds to pick it up, but we're not going to. Now, if you wanted to catch them, you certainly can. Now, here comes the other one. Sometimes it gets confusing, but you'll hear double clicks if it's two catfish. I do not hear anything on that one. So I'm going to pick it up and check. And this is an eel. So there we go. Perfect. You got to hear the difference of each one. That's why I'm using two, because that eel wouldn't have hit while that other one was going. No point in using three. You would just have to deal with your in hand. No advantage to that. It gets complicated enough with two. But you see the reason for the second one, so that we don't miss out on an eel while there's a catfish on. This is just going to be a gold. I'm pretty sure I'm right this time. Go back with the 9 pounds. I was too optimistic. 7.79. We're going to put that back out in that area. Put them both pretty close together, but far enough apart so that we can easily pick them up. And then put that back out right around that area. And then every time I let a catfish despawn like that, I'm going to pick it back up and put it back out, because they will drag that bait quite a ways. That's pretty much all that strategy is. Now, you're not going to have a lot of time. I usually run out of hot dogs at 5 o'clock. You can keep right on going if you want to with the pellets. Caught diamond eels well into the morning, even 8 or 9 o'clock. So I'll leave that up to you. I typically reset when I run out of hot dogs, but you don't have to. Those diamonds will still spawn as long as you don't fall in the water or fast travel. You can keep fishing longer if you like till you run out of pellets. That's all there is to this one. Stay with the video for the big fish montage. I got lots of diamonds to show you, similar to the one that we just caught a few minutes ago. Happy fishing. Have a good one. Please click on the logo bottom left to subscribe to my channel. Check out my other content and don't forget to hit the like button on the video.